Hi, this is Herm. Before we begin this presentation, let me give you some background information so that you can understand how to utilize this MACD contrarian indicator strategy. Now, you have to look at the economic calendar. And for this particular presentation, I knew that the Supreme Court was going to release the announcement of the Obamacare, and that was on the Monday, June 25th. And at 10 o'clock, there was an announcement that they're going to delay the release of that information until the coming Thursday, which in this case was the 28th of June. So what happened? The market dumped on Monday, and there was other news coming out of Europe for the Eurozone crisis with Spain, Greece, and Italy. So there was a lot of nervousness, so there was a lot of whipsaw in the market. So this news, with the additional U.S. news on Obamacare, which is massive, it impacts just about everyone in the United States, you know that news is going to move the market. So we use the technical charts, or in this case the QuoteTracker, in anticipation of the release of that information to see what the reaction is and to see when the trend is excessive. In other words, the momentum is so great that it has to reverse in order to correct, because the market tends to overreact, and they do this intentionally to set up for the next move. So knowing this, you'll understand when and how to use this. You need to use the economic calendar to time the contrarian position and use the QuoteTracker to visually see when this is taking place and when is the approximate time to enter into your trade or exit out of your trade. So with that information, let's go into the presentation. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the QuoteTracker and do what's called the MACD contrarian trading technique. Basically what you're doing is you're using the QuoteTracker to spot potential contrarian trades. That means closing out an existing trade and then opening up a new opposite trade and hopefully getting in early before the reversal actually takes place in the market and the trend is realized by the masses. It's very easy to spot this. Now this happened this past week. Several times, in fact. There was the announcement of the Obamacare by the Supreme Court, and the market tanked. And you can see on the chart that on Wednesday, the market was sort of moving sideways. And then all of a sudden, Thursday, the market starts tanking strongly to the downside, and you can see the steep MACD angle of attack, which means that there is strong momentum in the direction downward in this particular case. And anytime you see this sharp MACD taking place, you notice it's a minus 0.4. You can actually take a contrarian position to the opposite. So in this case, if we expect the price to rebound, which it did the next day strongly to the upside, then we can take an opposite position. So in this case, it was moving down, so the call spreads were the play as it was going down, and that's because the price decays, and if we sell the call options, that's going to decay on the buyer. So when it gets to the bottom, it starts forming the V shape. You can close out that position, lock in your profits, buy it back, in other words, to close, and then take the opposite trade, which would be the puts, because puts will decay as the price moves upward. So of course you sell the leap put spread, and as the market rebounds the following day, hopefully you can capture that profit and then close that out. You don't have to wait for these pivot points in the QuoteTracker. This is something that's becoming much more doable because of the extreme volatility in the markets, where you're getting 100+ point swings on a daily basis. Every other day it's like swinging in the opposite direction. So this is what you can do. And if you notice, I also reduced the minutes on this chart to the 90 minutes in order to get a little bit more advanced alert to the possible trend reversal. And that's pretty much how I use this contrarian approach. Don't use it all the time. If you do have to monitor the market, so you have to be by your screen.